There is a philosopher who makes Schopenhauer look cheerful, who makes Nietzsche look optimistic, who wrote things so dark that his own mother refused to read them. His name is Emil Cioran, and his philosophy starts with a question you have probably asked yourself at 3 a.m. Was it worth being born? Not. Is life worth living? Cioran went further. He asked whether existence itself, the fact that you exist at all, was a good idea. His answer was no, and yet he kept living. For 84 years. This is Emil Cioran philosophy, the darkest philosophy ever written. He wrote, "It is not worth the bother of killing yourself, since you always kill yourself too late. By the time you think about ending it, it has already been too long. You are already here. You are already alive. That is the trap." Emil Cioran explained in one sentence. Cioran was born in 1911 in a small village in Romania. His father was an Orthodox priest. His mother was prone to depression. He described his childhood as a catalogue of disasters. At 22, suffering from devastating insomnia, he wrote his first book. He called it On the Heights of Despair. The insomnia never went away. For his entire life, Cioran wandered the streets of Paris at night, unable to sleep, thinking about existence. He said insomnia taught him more than any book. When you cannot escape into sleep, you cannot escape yourself. And yourself, Cioran discovered, is a nightmare. In 1937, he moved to Paris. He never left. He lived in a tiny apartment in the Latin Quarter. He wrote in French, not his native Romanian, because he said, writing in a foreign language was like writing a suicide note in a language your mother could not read. He wanted distance from his own words. He never married, never had children, never held a job for long. He lived on modest royalties and the kindness of friends. He spent his days reading, walking, and writing short, devastating fragments. Aphorisms. He called them his nighttime thoughts, polished in the daylight. Emil Cioran philosophy was not a system, it was a wound. You have seen the other videos about Cioran, the biography, the dark quotes, the summary of how he was the most pessimistic philosopher. They all make him sound like someone you should avoid. This is not one of those videos. This is Mindscape Philosophy. We take the ideas that actually change lives and show you why they matter. Today, the philosopher who wrote the darkest things ever written, and somehow found freedom in them. Emil Cioran explained is not about despair. It is about liberation. Cioran's core idea is devastatingly simple. Consciousness is a curse, not a gift, a curse. Animals are lucky. They exist without knowing they exist. They do not lie awake at night wondering if their life has meaning. Only humans do. And Cioran argued that this awareness, this unbearable self-consciousness, is the source of all suffering. He wrote, "The fact that life has no meaning is a reason to live. Moreover, the only one." Most philosophers say meaninglessness is the problem. Cioran said meaninglessness is the solution. If life had meaning, you would have to fulfill it. You would have a purpose you did not choose. Meaninglessness means you are free. This is the paradox at the heart of Cioran's philosophy. He was the most pessimistic writer who ever lived, and yet reading him makes you feel better. Why? Because he gives you permission to stop pretending, stop trying to be happy, stop searching for meaning. The pressure is off, you can just exist. Cioran said, "We are all deep in a hell, each moment of which is a miracle." He could hold two things at once. Life is hell, and every moment is a miracle. This is not contradiction. This is clarity. You can see how terrible everything is and still find it astonishing that you are here to see it at all. He spent his life staring into the abyss, and instead of falling in, he wrote about what he saw. That is the difference between Cioran and despair. Despair is silent, Cioran wrote. Stop. You can find the biography in any Cioran video. You can find the dark quotes anywhere. What comes next is why this channel exists, the part that none of the other videos will tell you. What do you actually do with this philosophy? Cioran's wisdom is not in systems, it is in fragments, aphorisms, short, devastating sentences that hit you and then leave you alone to think. Here is what he actually teaches. 1. Stop trying to be happy. Cioran wrote, "The desire to be happy is the most ridiculous form of hope. Happiness is not a goal, it is a side effect. You do not find it by chasing it. You find it by forgetting to chase it." 2. Embrace your limits. Cioran wrote, "What would become of us if we had the courage of our desires? Most people are saved by their cowardice, their inability to act on their worst impulses. Your weakness is what keeps you decent. Accept it." 3. Music is the answer. Cioran wrote, "Without Bach, God would be a complete second-rate figure. Music was the only thing that made existence bearable for him. When words failed, Bach spoke. When philosophy was too heavy, Mozart lifted it. Find your Bach." 4. The universe does not care. And that is freedom. Cioran wrote, "We are all geniuses when we dream and idiots when we wake. You are not special. The universe is not watching. Your mistakes are not being recorded. The freedom of insignificance is the only freedom that exists. Let me bring this to today. It is 3 a.m. You cannot sleep. Your brain will not shut up. You are replaying every mistake, every embarrassment, every failure. This is Cioran's territory. This is where he lived. And he says, stop fighting the insomnia. Sit in it. Write down what your 3 a.m. brain tells you. It is more honest than your daytime brain ever will be. You scroll social media. Everyone is happy. Everyone is achieving. Everyone has meaning. You feel broken. Cioran would say, they are lying, not necessarily to you, to themselves. The performance of happiness is the most exhausting performance there is. You are not broken for seeing through it. You are awake. You worry that your life has no purpose. Cioran would say, good. Purpose is a cage. Once you have one, you have to serve it. The person with no purpose is the only truly free person. Stop looking for your calling. Just live. The calling will find you, or it will not. Either way, you are alive. That is already more than you had any right to expect. You feel guilty for not being more productive. Cioran spent most of his life doing nothing, walking, reading, thinking. He called it his occupation. He wrote, "The secret of my productivity is a great deal of idleness. You do not need to earn your existence. You already exist. That is enough." Cioran wrote, "We inhabit a language, not a country." He believed that your true home is not a place. It is the words you think in. Change your language, change your world. He did this literally, leaving Romanian for French. You can do it figuratively. Stop speaking to yourself in the language of self-hatred. Find better words. And here is his deepest insight. He wrote, "We are all deep in a hell, each moment of which is a miracle. You do not have to choose between seeing the darkness and seeing the light. You can hold both. The world is terrible, and it is astonishing that you are here to see it. That is not optimism. That is not pessimism. That is clarity." And clarity, Cioran believed, is the only thing worth having. 3 practices. 1. The 3 a.m. notebook. Keep a notebook by your bed. When you cannot sleep, write. Do not judge. Do not edit. Just write what your nighttime brain tells you. That is your most honest self. Cioran did this his whole life. 2. The productivity strike. Take 1 hour today and do nothing productive. Not scrolling, not consuming, nothing. Walk, sit, think, exist without earning it. Cioran called this his occupation. You can call it yours. 3. The language shift. Catch 1 sentence of self-hatred today and translate it, not into a lie, into something true but gentler. I am a failure becomes I am still here. I am broken becomes I am tired. You inhabit a language. choose better words. Cioran showed us that consciousness is a curse, and that accepting the curse is the only freedom. But there is one more question. What if consciousness is not the end? What if it is just the beginning? Alan Watts, the British philosopher who brought Eastern philosophy to the West, a man who said, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." After 9 episodes of Western pessimism and existentialism, the Eastern answer. That is next time on Mindscape Philosophy. Subscribe so you do not miss it. This is Mindscape Philosophy, tonight, 3 a.m. Write what your nighttime brain tells you. That is your freedom. See you next week.